Do you believe in life after death and in life beyond Earth? Now imagine both happening at the same time. That's exactly what happened to me. And if you think you're ready to hear it, I promise, you're not. But since you've pressed play, it's too late. There's no turning back. My name is Raphael. I'm 34 years old, and until last summer, I was an absolute skeptic. I didn't believe in ghosts, let alone aliens. All of that, to me, was just bad movie fiction and people seeking attention. That is, until I was transferred to a hospital in the countryside of Goiás, a secluded, quiet place. And, according to what they said, perfect for young doctors to gain experience. But no one mentioned that besides patients, that hospital had other visitors. It all began on a hot January night. Quiet shift, few admissions, and that kind of silence that bothers you. It was nearly 3 a.m. when they called me on the radio. A serious accident on the highway, 2 victims. When they arrived, one was already dead. A young man, no older than 20. The other disappeared, simply vanished. We took the body straight to the autopsy room. Me, the on-duty technician, and a nurse. The procedure would be simple, determine the cause of death. But as soon as we unzipped the bag, something was wrong. Very wrong. The body had marks, as if it had been burned, but not by regular fire. There were circles, patterns, symbols, and the eyes were completely white, no pupils, no irises, as if he had been emptied from the inside. The nurse ran out. The technician froze. I tried to stay calm and proceed with the work, but the wall clock started spinning. Literally, the second hand spun so fast it was a blur. Then the lights flickered, and he sat up. The dead man sat up. The machines started beeping. Lights exploded. I swear on everything sacred, he looked at me, smiled, and said, "They are coming, and you are next." I fainted. When I woke up, I was alone. The body had vanished. All files from that night were gone too. The security cameras had recorded nothing. The technician swore he saw nothing. The nurse asked for a transfer that very day. Since then, I began investigating, and what I found out goes far beyond anything you've ever heard about life after death, about spirits or extraterrestrials. There are places in our world where the layers of reality are thinner, places where the world of the dead and the universe of visitors intersect, where entities from other planets exploit the energy of death to conduct experiments. And that hospital was one of those places. It wasn't the first case. There were hidden records, reports of nurses seeing lights in the morgue, corpses disappearing, people entering the elevator with bodies and vanishing. Even more, body examinations revealing impossible biological structures, tissues not belonging to the human body, as if something had been implanted. But this was just the beginning. After that day, I started having strange dreams. Dreams that didn't feel like mine, like they were memories from someone else or something else. I saw places I'd never visited, heard a language I didn't know, and felt a constant presence watching me. One night I woke to the sound of the intercom, but the screen was black. I answered. No one spoke, just static followed by a high-pitched hiss, then a distorted voice. "You saw. Now you must remember." The next day, I found an envelope at my apartment door. Inside, photos of me, sleeping, in my room, at the hospital, and one, inside the autopsy room where the body had disappeared. But in the background of the image, zoomed in, there was something, a face, grey, big black eyes, watching. I took the photos to a more experienced coroner, a man close to retirement and always very reserved. When he saw them, he turned pale. He told me that years ago he had worked in a neighboring city where children had begun to disappear. 3 of them were found dead, with the same marks as the boy in the autopsy, and in all cases the eyes were also white. He said he tried to report it but was silenced, that it involved levels beyond what we can reach. Then he handed me a flash drive. If I disappear, you carry on. And he did disappear. The flash drive's contents were terrifying. Videos, reports, recordings, images of autopsies on human bodies containing strange artifacts, metallic microstructures, pulsating crystals, and the most bizarre, an organ that seemed alive even outside the body. I decided to return to the autopsy room that same week, at night, alone. I wanted answers. I brought a hidden camera. But what happened there scarred me forever. The room seemed empty, as always, but the silence was dense, almost solid. I started recording, describing every corner, every detail. Everything was the same, until I looked into the mirror behind the instrument table. My reflection wasn't mimicking me. While I stood still, it smiled, a wide, impossible smile that tore across the face from ear to ear. Then it raised its arm and pointed to the body freezer. I walked over, each step feeling like a ton. Compartment number 7's door was ajar, and inside there was something, a body, but not human. It had vaguely human features, but the skull was elongated, the skin grayish, and the eyes stared at me. Even in death it stared at me. I felt dizzy. A buzzing filled my head. I collapsed and everything went white. When I came to, I was outside the hospital with the camera beside me and its battery drained. I had no memory of how I got out. But the strangest thing, there was a cut on my arm. Not deep, but surgical, precise, and around it a spiral-shaped redness, exactly like the marks I saw on the first body. From that day on, I was followed. Strangers watched me from afar. Cars parked near my house and stayed for hours. My emails were hacked, my social media erased. I had to leave, disappear, but first I had to document this. Because if something happens to me, someone needs to know the truth. The truth that involves much more than ghosts or flying saucers. The truth that something, or someone, is controlling both sides, life and death, the body and the soul, Earth and what lies beyond.